She said, as I was being put on my young womanhood medallion today, I felt like a queen. The closest to Cinderella I have ever felt in my whole life. Here was this girl, feeling the glory, the love of this program, that she was being honored as a queen that day. I hope all our young ladies feel as queens this evening. You know, challenge them to be buried in the temple, and then we thought Colette. she passed, too late. I'm really proud of these young women. And let me explain very briefly. They do 2 projects for every value in the year. So there are 7 values, so 14 projects or experiences, they call them, in each year. In their laurel year, they do, for every year, they do 2 20 to 30-hour projects. So they should be extensive. They should be to an Eagle project. I have to admit, sometimes they aren't. The girls set them, though, and I think we're improving, though. And I like to see good projects. I'd like each of the girls to take, young women, to take a moment and to share with us. But, okay, like I said, I'm going to leave protocol just a moment. And I'd like to tell you, first of all, that backing up a little bit to the Eagles, I always get a charge out of Grandpa, you know, when he goes around, when we go around to see all of you, the first thing he does is he hugs the grandsons and he says, "How's my fine grandson?" And the next thing is, "How are you doing on your Eagle?" But I haven't seen any of them run from him yet. And one more thing I wanted to say that leads into this program. Some of you know that we've been and have finished a book about the history of the church in Ajo. And Grandpa took this upon himself, and so of course that gave us a big project before we got ready for our mission. And I had the privilege of proofing the book, and so I have read all of it at least twice, and some of it more, to help proof it. I'm sure you're going to find mistakes, and I'm not here to tell you about the book or to sell it or anything. I'm here to tell you that I was thrilled to read Denzel's story because I was her mother, and I didn't even know this that happened. And she told about when she was in primary, that she, I was right. In primary, they had to choose a flower that would mean the most to them. That was young women, all right, thank you. And she had to choose a flower that meant the most to her. And of course, you know, girls might choose roses and chrysanthemums and all the usual flowers and what they would mean. But Denzel said she really wrestled with that. Here she was a new beehive in Mutual, and she said, I wrestled with that. To her, that was a real personal problem. She says, I think I even prayed about it, about what flower to choose. And she said, finally I decided I was going to have the Ajo lily. And she said some of the girls kind of snickered because that was an unusual flower, I suppose. But she said my leader was Sister Harris, and she so kindly helped me cut it out and color it so I could place it on my banjo. So anyway, I thought that was interesting that Denzel, she chose that because to her it was white and it meant purity, and she said, that's what I always wanted to be. So we know Denzel lived up to that covenant. So these things these girls are doing are helping them live up to covenants that they make through what they have chosen to do. The boys have had a board where they've had their name, and we're just slower with girls, but it seems like girls just kind of automatically get their things, and we don't have to push them quite as hard. And so maybe we just took it for granted. So I really felt like, well, we just ought to reward these girls for being so wonderful. And so on here we have We have some Golden Gleaners, Mariel Lewis and Denzel Allen, and